So I think rather taking more time in between you and our today's guest and the session, I don't want that. I don't want to be hurdles in between. So quickly we'll start. And for the start, I request our immediate past president, Mr. Himanshu Bodawala, to please address the forum, sir.
I welcome our Honorable His Excellency Mr. Demiek Etnafu, Ambassador Ethiopia Embassy, Miss Setzi Zemelek, Third Secretary Ethiopia Embassy. Let's have a round of applause for both of them. Sir, thank you for coming to Surat once again. I also welcome our own Amit Mulani ji, our immediate past president Rohit Bhai Mehta, Harin Bhai Babawala, core committee, all the esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all. The Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry is the oldest apex body established in 1940 and represents the entire trade industry and service from Bharuch to Umagam. We represent 150 plus associations and have a comprehensive membership of 12,000 plus direct membership and 2 lakh plus indirect members drawn from membership of 150 plus business associations. Sir, our prime objective is to work as a catalyst for promoting all-round industrial growth and the services attached to it. SGCCI works in 5 different fields. First, representation. SGCCI most important aspect is to represent the industry and build a bridge between industry with semi-government organizations and government organizations, whether it is local, whether it is state or national. Second, awareness booth. SGCCI has a strong motive to educate industrialists, entrepreneurs or any business owners about the market and industry opportunities, as market has not a single person in the industry should be unaware of the business opportunities. Sir, our third point is point of origin to point of consumption. SGCCI works towards establishing the bridge between the manufacturers and the consumers. We try to accommodate both ends by giving competitiveness rates to the consumer while protecting interest of the manufacturers. Fourth, corporate social responsibilities, that is CSR. SGCCI works relentlessly for the society at large to protect and promote our social interest. In COVID, when the entire world was on ventilators, SGCCI was the first chamber, I repeat, the first chamber to start with the oxygen bank with the help of our former Chief Minister of Gujarat, Sri Vijayabhai Rupani ji. We also used our relief fund to help the people of Bharuch during the flood and gave shelter to more than 500 houses using more than 7 lakh rupees. And fifth, internationalization. This year, as a part of internationalizations, SGCCI has his unique project called Mission 84, through which we have all gathered today. The year 2023-24 has a unique identity for our chamber. It is the 84th establishment year of SGCCI, and coincidentally, Surat has a history, has a legacy of being a port of choice for 84 nations of the world in the 17th century. Therefore, in this year, SGCCI is in a unique position to commemorate the history of Surat by revisiting its glory and thereby trying to work to re-establish, connect with its old foreign trade partners and ensure achievement of government of India's target $1 trillion export and $5 trillion economy by 2027. Marking its 84th year, the Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce has embarked on an ambitious initiative, that is SGCCI Global Connect M84, aiming to facilitate the international business worth rupees 84,000 crores between 84,000 Indian entrepreneurs and 84,000 international businessmen. As a part of this mission, SGCCI seeks to establish partnership between 84 embassies of foreign countries, sir. And one of the embassy will be Ethiopia, of course. Since the installation ceremony of this year's presidency, we have successfully conducted meetings with the foreign mission of India, of Sri Lanka, Ghana, Vietnam, UK, Thailand, Tanzania, Ivory Coast, Namibia, and many more. Recently, our delegation has a visit to China and Dubai and successfully conducted a meeting with the industries of the representative countries to represent the project Mission 84 and encourage them to take up the opportunities we are creating for the entrepreneurs. So, friends, once again, with this my speech, I welcome all of you and once again have a round of applause for our His Excellency, Mr. Demik Atnapu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Himanshu Bhai, for opening up the floor. The tradition of the South Gujarat Chamber of Commerce is whenever any guest come to us, we have to have a bouquet or a flower felicitations. So now I request the dais, the chief guest, His Excellency, to please come forward, and I also request the office bearers, Sri Himanshu Bhai and Rohit Bhai, to please join in floral felicitations of His Excellency, sir.
Ready? Where is it, sir? Thank you.
Now I request today's third secretary of embassy, Sarity Madam, to please accept our token of gift. Thank you. Friends, as you know that, and our immediate past president in his first lecture, he has said that Mission 84, the Chambers this year initiatives, and under these initiatives, we used to conduct various programs. We are calling the embassies, we are calling the delegates, we are taking our delegates to the respective countries as well. We try to engage our entrepreneurs, and we try to motivate our entrepreneur to do maximum business beyond the boundaries, right? So in that perspective, definitely few of you who are already engaged with either any of the African countries or might be with Ethiopia itself, or those who really would like to understand that what are the opportunity arises in Ethiopia or might be nearby countries of Ethiopia, how you can take it out, how you can incorporate your business with the respective countries, that need to understand. And being a chamber, as sir has already explained, that we as a chamber are bridge in between you and that opportunity of markets. So I think before we take what actually today the bouquet His Excellency is bring for us, we need to understand what exactly this country is. what exactly that country carries, what exactly the country is importing from various countries apart from India, other than India, right? So we have an expert of that line who can at least have in our own language, and probably he can just give you the brief about the Ethiopia and the opportunity arises in Ethiopia, so that probably many things would have been clear before His Excellency express his views. So now I request, in the same floor, I request Mr. Amit Mulani, who is an expert on this, to please address about Ethiopia. Mr. Amit Mulani.
Hi, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
We are the business forum, no? So voice must be a loud one. Now, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
First of all, greetings to His Excellency Demeke Atnapu and other guests today, and office bearer from SGCCI, and greetings to all who are sitting over here in this particular session on opportunities in Ethiopia. So we have the guest from Ethiopia with us today. Before we moving further with the business with Ethiopia, we have to understand what is the opportunities with us when we are talking about any country. And it's required data teaching, because without data you cannot identify that what kind of the opportunities with us in that country. But obvious, when you are finding the markets over there in any country in the world, you need to understand the data first. So today I am representing something about the Ethiopia in front of you, where you can identify that in which sectors we have the opportunity to be, we can say, to do the business in future, and what kind of the product categories we have to focus. But obvious, African countries are big friends of us, and definitely in future we have the lots of opportunities to be grown in these countries, and Ethiopia is one of the partner country where we can finding a lots of opportunities in bilateral trade. It is not about only export but rather import also. So first of all, it is about the Ethiopia, and we are talking about East African country. May I get some assistance for this? So Ethiopia is East African country, and if we are think about Africa, why we have to think about Africa? Why this continent is, we can say, future for us? The first of all, some basics information about this particular continent and opportunities for India. Short transportation route than China, but obviously if you are seeing in the world map, we have the short transportation route from the western coast of India, and we can directly reach to the many ports of African countries. Second number, one of the highest GDP's growth in the world. There are several African countries which has the highest GDP than the European countries. Abundant resources untapped. They have the lots of potential in their land and different resources where we can identify a lots of potential to be digged out for the India. Highest growth of population, absolutely, this is again the one of the great parameter where we are finding demographically beneficial to the Indian, we can say, business people. Sustainable industrial growth amongst the world, and but obvious there are several industries to be set up already in the last years, and underdeveloped opportunities. Absolutely, if we are talking about this, it is abundant. Like Africa is really a future for India. Trust on the Indian integrity, as we all are knowing that China plus one policy is already growing on, and that way Africans also want that, if we want any options of Chinese, and India's bilateral trade with African countries are very sound since a long. Now if we are talking about the East African countries, there are total 20 countries where Ethiopia is already presented over here. And basic information about Ethiopia. It's been independent in 1944. Common language is Amharic, but generally they are knowing English, so it is very easy for us to communicate them. Total area is given over here. Population is around 12.3 crore, and India, but obviously 140 crore. It is the reference. Population growth is 2.6% per annum, so we have the good market in future. Religion, 67.3 Christians and 31.3 Islamic. So you will get idea that what exactly the people have the religious, and in that way you can tap the market with your products. GDP is 473 billion US dollar, and when we are talking about India, it is 3.74 trillion US dollar, but one of the fastest growing GDP in African country. Per capita income is $925, where we are at 2612 So not, we can say, far away, and fast growing country, so they will definitely reach very soon. Climate condition, it is a wet season in February, May, and different rainy season. Neighbor countries are Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Kenya, and Uganda. And currency is Ethiopian birr. We can say $1 is equal to 56.26 rupees. It is bigger than us. One birr is equal to 1.48 INR. Basic information more about population divided. 20% population is living in urban areas and 80% in rural. You can target in that way with your products so that you can make your potential presence over there. Labor forces by occupation, again very important area to be focused. Most of population is engaged with the agricultural activities, 72.7%. Industry around 7.4% population, and services in 19.9% population. Indians population in Ethiopia is around 5,515, so we have the very good diaspora over there. If you want to start the business, definitely you can connect those people. Literacy rate is 58.1%, is too good when we are focusing on any country and their development. So upcoming 10 years for the Ethiopia will be the absolutely the potential one. 60% population occupied in agricultural, so but obviously we have the very large potential to import the products in agricultural categories over here, or we can set up the agricultural activities over there in Ethiopia and we can export the product to another country of the world. Many Indians are there over and they are doing this kind of the business. 34% land is arable land, which can be we can say used as a production in future for the Indian businessman. GDP growth rate is one of the growing amongst the African countries, and sound rail connectivity all over. So, but obvious the main cities been connected very good. So, but obvious transportation of the goods being easy. If we are talking about the major cities with the population, then these are all the major cities. The main city is Addis Ababa, with as potential population is 27,57,000 around. Internet users and social media users, because but obvious when we are talking about the international business, we have to connect them through mainly internet and sources, where we are focusing that how sound they are with the internet activities. Internet users in Ethiopia is 2.86 crore out of 12.2 crore. We can say around 22% population is using, 67% जो sound use कर रहा है. Social media users की अगर हम बात करें तो 64 lakh social media users over there in January 2023. We can say that fastly it will grow as but obvious smartphones being in the market. Yep. And mobile connectivity, 6.68 crore people has the mobile activity. We can say almost half of the population is connected with the mobile. My friend, and so we can say the future is good, because if internet is there, if internet is growing, then the business will definitely grow. Yep. Main ports, which is the heart of the business of international, absolutely the Ethiopia is in inland area, but they have the three countries which has the land sharing over there, and we can use the landlocked countries where Ethiopia has the port of Djibouti, which is in neighbor. Again they have the port of Mombasa in Kenya, and definitely in Somalia land they are using the Berbera, from where they can import or export the goods to the another countries and importing the material and transferring throughout the Ethiopia. If we are talking about the India's export, last year figure saying that in 2022-23 we have export worth of 4,699 crore worth of goods. In our list of the export markets, it stands on 68th number, and definitely it has a lots of potential to grow in top 30. If we are talking about the different kind of the categories of the product where we have shown a very good potential in that country, this is the positive growth commodities in 2022-23. I am talking about the financial year where we have considered the positive growth. Lastly, you are saying that this is the positive growth where we are saying 2021-22 के सामने 2022-23 में जो हमने एक्सपोर्ट किया उसमें जो हमें ग्रोथ दिखा है वो. I have highlighted some chapters where we have find out the good opportunities to be tapped. It is preparation of the vegetable, fruit, nuts or other parts of the plant. Other made up textile where it has a big market. 63 number chapter, Warn textile and articles. 83 number chapter which is about the miscellaneous article of base metals. Base metals की जो भी products है like spoon and etc. Lots of products which are used in the household. Then after wool and fine wool, animal hair से जो बनते हैं wool products, it has a big market over there. If you are talking about the electric product, then again it is a big market. Electric products and machinery, and which has also the 57.85% growth we have seen in the last year. Now these are the data, these positive growth commodities in 22-23, but with respect to the amount of the export, like what we have seen in 2021-22 in front of 22-23, and where we can identify that ceramic product has a good growth. We are seeing articles of the stone and plaster cement which are used in the we can say construction industry. Pharmaceutical products, absolutely Africa is a very big market for our pharmaceutical products. So definitely we have the very good market over there. Out of the 46 crore, 4600 crore, 1400 crore worth of medical products we have exported. It is called the pharmaceutical in chapter number 30. 48 is about the paper and paper board, but obviously Africa is growing, literacy rate is good, and so we have the very good opportunities inside the stationery products. And these are all those different categories which have been highlighted. I have observed where we can focus in the future as per our mastery in the manufacturing. If I am talking about the specifically highest exported commodity in 2020-23, then these are all those commodity where pharmaceutical is there, made up textile is there, electric machinery, what I have observed earlier in highest growth, and optical and photographical, whatever the products is there. Knitted and crocheted fabric in 16 number is again has the potential. It was 80 crore exported last year. Man-made staple fiber and ceramic product has the good potential. Again, article of the apparel 62 number and 61 number, but obviously 61, 62 and 63. This is called the made articles of, we can say, apparels, and so it has a very good potential market over there. Now let's focus on the products. I have identified 5 categories where we can focus as per India's nature and production of the, we can say, products we are doing with our expertise. I have observed only 5, but you can identify a number of sectors. We are taking the chapter number 30, which representing the pharmaceutical products. My friend, just see the growth in Ethiopia. It is saying that from 2018-19 to 2020-23, it is continuously positive, and last year we have exported worth of 1400 crore of pharmaceutical products. Guys, don't forget 2019, 20, 21, 22, it was pandemic years, and India has sound growth been registered. And that's what India. That's what a growing country in international market. If we are finding the opportunities inside the product, these are all those products with the 8-digit HS code which can representing the exact product nature. It is saying that vaccine for the human, mixed vaccine, contraceptive based on the hormones, antibiotic and lots of other medications we are already exporting, and we have the sound market over there. If we are talking about specific sector which is ceramic, it is in the 69. Again you can find out the growth, it is continuously growing product despite pandemic. And again in this particular sector, flag and paving wall tiles, again couples, tubes and pipes, couples, tubes and pipes in other category, clay bricks, ceramic tableware and bricks has a lots of potential. If you are talking about the third category of the product, it is apparel products. It is consuming 61, 62 and 63 cumulative. Again you just check the, we can say, growth, but obvious apparels has not performed well in between, but it was the pandemic year. But last year we have shown a very good growth in that. Ultimately we have exported worth of 242 crores worth of goods in 61, 62, 63 chapters. So which are the products? Bed, nets and knit fabric, mosquito nets, but obvious, very famous and from India. Blankets, other bed linens, jute bags, baby garments, shirt of other fibers, other dresses, synthetic fibers के जो बने हुए हैं, आर्टिकल्स ऑफ कॉटन, कुर्ता एंड सलवार, इन सब के अंदर आपको ग्रोथ दिख रहा है. पिछले मैंने फिगर भी दिखाए हैं. ये सारे फिगर्स जो है वो लेख में है और कोई भी फिगर मेरे घर का नहीं है. These are all the figures been captured from the government of India side, and ये वो पैसा है जो इंडियन अकाउंट में जमा हुआ है बॉस, in a foreign currency. I am not talking हवाला कबाला, I am not talking about any kind of the whatever fraud been done. I am talking about those money which been deposited in Indian account from the Ethiopian market. And so these are all those products where we are focusing as a product. It is towel, briefs and panties of cotton, sacks and bags and other garments, men's and boys, all includes, and so we have the very huge market when we are talking about the textile. Another sector is electric and machinery and equipment. Again we are finding the good growth over there, and where there are several products we are seeing over here. Boards of the electric products, switches of it, plastic and regarding insulated and conductors, transformers which are using in power supplements, and also generating sets with the compressions, ignitions and internal combustion. So but obvious we are now manufacturing this kind of the product, and so we have the good market over there. Guys, these are all those products which we are seeing, which has the good growth from India. But the very important things to be focused is that what is the opportunity in front of China? What China is doing in Ethiopia, and where we are seeing a lots of opportunities over there. Now these are the comparison figures. You just find it out. These are the different chapter I am showing you over there. I am just representing some chapter. The chapter number 38 is about the miscellaneous chemical product. China has done the total worth of export 541 crore. These are the data in crore. And India has done 171 crore. The untapped potential market is about 68%. Last one is the untapped potential market for us in Ethiopia. The second one is given plastic product. You just check it out. China has done total worth of export. It is 2720 crore or India 113 crore. How much potential market? 95%. You just see about the articles of iron and steel. Again 93% potential market. Ceramic 90% potential market. Despite we are the largest exporter in the world. The another is article of the stone and etc. 92%. Soap and organic material which are manufacturing a lot. Again 89%. And these are the data showing that what kind of the opportunities with us, boss. We are the second largest manufacturer in the world. Where we are focusing. China is focusing everywhere in the world, and we are focusing only on those countries which are developed. क्यों ये लोग डॉलर नहीं देते? Please ask yourself. They have the sound money power and lots of abundant resources from where they are earn a lot. Absolutely, we have the very good potential market in future. I have observed number of HS code over there where I have presented some. Now we are talking about the India's import from the Ethiopia. Last year we have imported 456 crore worth of goods, and which are the products over there? Oil seeds and olea, fruits and etc. Edible vegetables and certain roots we have imported. Residue and waste from the food industry which has been used in a different kind of the animal fodder. Natural and cultured pearls, other vegetable textile fibers, nuclear reactors, coffee, tea, mat and spices we have imported because they have very good quality of different kind of the natural resources, where coffee beans are always we can say appreciated from Ethiopia, and raw hides and skins and essential oils and resinoids we are importing. So guys, these are all those details about this country. This is nothing. I have represented only 0.5% data. If you are digging it properly and if you are analyzing it properly, you will find out a beautiful opportunities in this country. I can say that one country is enough to do the business, boss. You don't have to focus all over the world to do the business. And that's for the international business. And if you want to connect Ethiopia, we have the Indian embassy over there. This is the detail of it. And already we are good partner in many ways. So but obvious, everywhere you want any kind of the assistance, absolutely Indian embassy will help you. Thank you for hearing me patiently. I hope you have answered the question.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit bhai. It was really very wonderful, and I think I was also speechless when I was listening him, and the kind of data which he has presented, it was fabulous. Although from our eye we are viewing what Ethiopia is, but now it's a time wherein Ethiopia, who consider us as a trusted partner everywhere, and that's the reason probably I think Amit bhai might have taken the comparison with China. The main thing which I observed in this presentation is 2080, 20% is an urban, 80% is a rural. Right? When the rural population, and second thing, it's a 12 crore is a population, if I'm not wrong. So, I'm કહું તો બે ગુજરાત વસે છે અને એનું જે એરિયા જ્યોગ્રાફી છે, it is just like an Gujarat. So, the thing which, if you can simple language, if you would like to tap the market of Ethiopia, consider the rural taste and preference. The important thing, whenever we are tapping the rural market, we found that their choosiness towards the brand would have been very less compared to an urban population, right? So if you really would like to sell your product, I think this could be a really very good market. I don't want to take really much of time because that presentation itself says many of the things which at least I was not aware of. Thank you, Mr. Mulani. Now, I request our today's guest and His Excellency Ambassador Sri Demekia Antafu to please say on the or the present about the Ethiopia, sir. Excellency.
Good morning. Good morning. Let me at the outset start by expressing our heartfelt thanks for the South Gujarati Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the President and the past presidents for organizing this very important seminar or workshop on Ethio-Indian Business and Investment Forum. I'm extremely delighted for the Chamber organizing this because I have been associated with this Chamber for more than 5 years. This Chamber had been associated with Ethiopia for more than a decade. Not only that, the first Indians who arrived in Ethiopia in the 19th century are Gujaratis. And they are not gone, they go Ethiopia only for trade. And now there are more than 4 generation Gujaratis in Ethiopia. So that is why we feel Gujarat. We are very well aware Ethiopians, and the Gujaratis are well aware, and they are the base, solid base, in facilitating, consolidating the relationship between Ethiopia and India. Thank you very much, Mr. Hamid, for the presentation. You have done all my work. only I can, some data. I will update data, but thank you very much for that thorough, study which enabled, the business community. So my presentation today, we have a video presentation. After my presentation, you can go through it. But I would like to it for you. My presentation limited as one. First, what Ethiopia? Basic information about Ethiopia. Second, why to do business? When we are speaking about business, I'm talking about long-term sustainable business. That means international business. That means why to do business, why to invest in Ethiopia. Factors, reasons. Then I will come up with Ethio-India trade and investment relationship. I'll give you update and the focus. Much has been covered by Amity. Ethiopia is one of the oldest countries in Africa with ancient civilization going back 2,000 years. Ancient civilization country, India, China. From Africa, it is only Ethiopia. The only country with old history and a rich history, and with ancient civilization, where the civilization of Ethiopia dates back 2,000 years. Ethiopia is a country, as you have seen in Africa, never colonized. Never colonized. There was an attempt, what you have mentioned here in 1944, attempt in 19th century and the 20th, when the Europeans were colonizing Africa and Asia. They tried to colonize Ethiopia, but Ethiopians had resisted the European colonialism and maintained their independence. So Ethiopia had never been colonized. The only independent country. That is why we have our own calendar. Mr. Anand was December 31. Are you celebrating? Why? It is European. We are never colonized. We have our own calendar. We have our own script. Writings. So we are the country never colonized. What is important is Ethiopia served as a symbol of African independence. When all African countries were colonized, they used Ethiopia as a symbol for their independence. Let me write to you, if you go to history, when the Europeans, the Italians tried to colonize Ethiopia in 1935-36, when Ethiopians resisted, the news came to India, and there was a message that the then time, the resistance movement of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, read a message and sent a solidarity for the Ethiopian fighting against colonialism. Says, we are under colonialism, we cannot support you, but I will send you a solidarity in standing beside with the people of Ethiopia. And once India became independent, we'll join hands for the betterment of the two countries. In 1936, Ethiopian Day, Abyssinian Day, was celebrated all over India. This shows that how deep, though India was under colonialism, when the Europeans tried to colonize Ethiopia, Indians stood beside us. So we were the only country never colonized, not colonized, the only independent country. We supported all African countries to become independent. So the only independent country. That is why we are the member of the League of Nations, never colonized. We are the founding member of the United Nations and a number of international organizations, including the latest, the BRICS, thanks to the government of India supporting Ethiopia to join BRICS. It is because of the Modi, the Prime Minister Modi's support, that Ethiopia became the BRICS member also in August this year. So this is about Ethiopia. We call Ethiopia a country never colonized, a land of origin. When you see what is the brand of Ethiopia, what is the name of Ethiopia? Land of origin. What origin? Origin of human beings. The earliest remains of human ancestors date back to 3.5 million years were found in Ethiopia. That means the first human being walking with 2 feet was found by archaeologists discovered in Ethiopia. That makes Ethiopia a cradle of human being. It makes Ethiopia the ancestral homeland of all human beings. If you count your ancestors back, counting down, all of you end up in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is your ancestral homeland. It is cradle of human civilization, origin of human being. That is because we call Ethiopia as land of origin, origin of human. Second, you know coffee. Coffee originated in Ethiopia in 9th century. The Yemen traders took to the Middle East in 15th. Coffee reached South India in early 17th century, went to Central Southern America in 1890s. But its origin is in Ethiopia. Coffee has derived its name from the place where it is originated, Kefa. You know, like Surat? In southwestern Ethiopia, there is a province called Kefa, where coffee originated. So coffee has derived its name from the place where it is originated. It is not Arabic word, it's not English, it's not Spanish. Coffee denotes the place where it is originated. It is Ethiopian gift to the world. When you are drinking coffee, you can remind that its origin is Ethiopia. If you taste Ethiopian coffee, totally different. So that is why we call Ethiopia a land of origin of human being, origin of coffee. I don't want to go to the others. Then we call Ethiopia, as rightly said, as a gateway to Africa. You know, Africa is 55 countries. There is organization called African Union, when all 55 countries are member of it. Its headquarters is in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's capital is Addis Ababa. So all African countries are represented in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. We say Ethiopia as a gateway to Africa because you find all Africans in Addis Ababa. Not only that, Ethiopian Airlines is flying to 64 cities in Africa. So if you want to go any African countries, if you are in Addis, you can go to 64 cities. That is why we call Ethiopia as a gateway to Africa. You don't need to go here and there Africa. You can find, if you are in Addis, you can find, because African health ministers, African trade ministers, every month there is ministerial meeting of African countries. You can meet them while basing in Ethiopia. If you want to go there to 64 cities, Ethiopian Airlines is flying from 4 cities in India. 2 flights a day from Delhi, 2 flights from Mumbai, 2 flights a day. It started flying from Chennai and from Bangalore, from 4 cities. It is the only airline connecting India, South Asia with 64 cities in Africa. From 4 cities, you don't need to go to Delhi. Mumbai is very close. If you are in the south, you can either use Chennai or Bangalore. Now we are going to start, there is huge demand to Ethiopian Airlines to start from Hyderabad. We are going to launch it. We got the permission. Because it is the only airlines flying from the southern part of India direct to Africa. Direct. They don't need to come to Delhi, Mumbai. Direct, if you want to go there, southern Indian part and this western, they can go there. So because of this, we call Ethiopia as a gateway to Africa. Ethiopia is the second largest population in Africa, 127 million. The first is Nigeria, among 55. Africa is 1.4 billion population, at par with India. Ethiopia is the second. And the Ethiopian economy is, the GDP is 164 billion. The 4th largest economy. And the per capita income is 1,554 per capita income. The data is the old one. This is the update. It is 164 billion economy, and one per capita income is doubled from for the last 2-3 years. 1,534. It is one of the fastest growing economy. Even during the COVID, the only economy growing from Africa is Ethiopia. From Asia is India. So among the top fastest growing economy, if you look at the World Bank data, it is Ethiopia is the second among the world. The fastest growing economy in Africa. So having said that, why to Ethiopia then? Why? What is important is first market factor. If we want to produce, if you want to sell, you have to want someone who can buy it, who can consume it. It is so the second largest population, the second largest consumer, the second largest buyer, 127 million population. By itself, if you put Eastern Africa country together, Ethiopian population is bigger than that. Huge market. Second, Ethiopia is a member of African Continental Free Trade Area. Africa is 1.4 billion, yes? So, if you put production unit in Ethiopia, there is huge domestic market, by itself 127. Then you can also export to African countries, 1.4 billion population. Connectivity is not a problem. Ethiopian Airlines flying to 64 cities in Africa. So when you are thinking of it, business, you have to think of first international connectivity. I say international connectivity for India from 4 cities to Africa. Second, market. Ethiopia domestic market and African market. Ethiopia is also a member of COMESA and strategically located. But market factor is very important. Consumer, buyer, huge domestic and African market. The second is labor. Among 127 million Ethiopians, more than 70% are below 30 years. That means young, dynamic population. Our Ethiopian labor is a growing educated labor force. We have more than 60 public universities, which are graduating students from degrees and above. Most of our graduates are, 70% are in science and technology. 30% are in science and humanities. We have more than 1,400 technical and vocational colleges, which are graduating students with skilled and semi-skilled, with diploma program, college diploma. So we say our labor force is not only young, not only trainable, it is educated and skilled labor force. What you need from your side is simple to retrain them, reskill them. You don't need to go to recruit, from the other experts and so on. It reduces your cost. Second is globally, in the African standard, the wage rate is one of the lowest. Not only internationally, in the African standard. Half of that of Kenya, the wage rate. In Ethiopia, there is no minimum wage for the private sector. Yes, no minimum. And there is flexible domestic law, not like other countries. I said we are unique, not independent, not influenced by anyone. Then we are this. Why our labor is trained? English is another. Why English? Because if we are not colonized by British, how we come to know English? You know, when our imperial wants in 1950, 60 to modernize our traditional education, we cannot go to the British because we are not a colony of Britain. We cannot go to France. We are not. Then our imperial at that time, South India asked Nehru to send teachers. In 1960s, there are 10,000 Indian teachers went to Ethiopia. Can you imagine? Teaching in elementary and secondary schools. 10,000. Many of them are from Kerala and the southern part. 10,000. You can never find an Ethiopian at my age who was never taught by India. My school teachers, high school, are Indians. So, our education, Indians are contributing. We are talking about trade, but the most important is education. They are the ones who laid the foundation for our modern education, development. Now there are more than 3,000 professors teaching in 50 public universities, PhD programs. It is a pillar of our bilateral relationship, education. If you go to India, as he said, we can't speak French, we can't speak Portuguese, any one language. Except our language, everybody speaks English because of our modernization education. Thanks for India for that. So, when you go, you cannot face any problem. We have similar cuisine, similar physical features. If you go to Ethiopia, no one will say you are foreigners, unless you tell them you are from India. When I go to the shop, some were asking me in India, I say, I'm from, South India. And when they speak in language, I came from Africa origin. We are similar, people cannot. A lot of similarities. So, labor is very cheap, trainable, educated labor force. The third factor is power. Ethiopia, we are known as the water tower of Africa. 98% of our electricity is generated from hydropower. It is very cheap. We are building, hydro dam in Nile River. The source of Nile is in Ethiopia. to generate 6,500 megawatts. 93% was completed. So electricity rate is one of the cheapest in the world. 3 USA cents per kilowatt. 3 USA cents per kilowatt. Water rate is 4 cents per cubic meter. So electricity rate is cheap, water is cheap, labor is cheap. What is remaining is land. Land in Ethiopia is available. If you are going to set up any production unit, the government of Ethiopia has established more than 27 industrial parks using modern art of technology with the support of World Bank. You don't need to go here and there in search of land to set up any production unit. Already the industrial parks are ready. You should go, see, visit, and rent the shed. The government was renting only at the nominal rate. The idea, the purpose of that industrial parks is to attract the production unit, not to collect rent. So land is very cheap, rent, labor is one of the cheap, electricity is cheap, water is cheap, market is there, huge market, domestic and Africa. The production cost in Ethiopia is one of the lowest today in this world. If you go and the producer, one of the lowest, because of these factors are mentioned. Connectivity, I said, you don't know, because many Indians who are going there, they took the late flight, arrive at this at the 7 a.m., meet government officials, go to their factory, come on the same day back. Come the same day back. If they miss the first, they can catch up the second flight. This is the way how they are doing. So connectivity is so cheap, so that is why we are asking you as historically well connected with Ethiopia to see the potential of setting up production units. In which sectors? Agriculture. In Ethiopia, we have more than 1.13 million kilometers, of which more than 60% is arable land. We have endowed with natural resource, fertile soil, abundant water. Ethiopia was being known as water tower of Africa. We have 18 agroecologic zones, and we have 49 sub-agroecologic zones. That means we can produce a number of different crops if we have different agroecologic zones. Fertile land. So you can produce, food crops, beverage crops, horticulture, cotton, biofuel, sugar, apiculture, and so on. What is here, what I want to underline is the cut flower. The first pioneers were Indians. And now Ethiopia is the second exporters of cut flower to European markets. The soil is very fertile. It is the second. The pioneers were Indians. The first one who took the adventure, government gave the land, not an issue, then Indians. So agriculture is one of the area. Commercial farming. Either there, at the same time, to export. Not only that, what we are now producing, the Middle East, they buy from us fruits, orange and others, and we are importing juice. We are looking Indians not only to produce them, to process them. Huge domestic market. Processing of agricultural. You have, since agricultural, the green revolution, you have a good expertise of increasing production, productivity, and in food and agro-processing. We have 4 agro-processing industrial parks. Again, you don't need to go here and there, look for land to set up. To set up a factory, to build to set up, you need land. you have to build to construct a building. No. The government has built 4 agro-processing industrial parks. You should go and see, visit, look at it, what is the raw materials, production produced in that area, you know, and simple, you transport your machineries. As simple as that. So everything is there. So that is why, because your technology, especially in agriculture, is appropriate for us, affordable, and adaptable. Our people can easily adapt it. So agriculture, where we are looking for Indians, I can appeal is come either farming, commercial farming, or in food and agro-processing sectors. We invite you. Second, had already mentioned manufacturing. Manufacturing textile, garment, leather product, metal, engineering, paper, ceramic, all. But of all, what we are looking for is pharmaceuticals. You know pharmaceuticals, we are 127 million population. Those pharma production units in Ethiopia cover only 10% of the demand. 90% of the demand were imported. Now the first Indian export to Ethiopia is drug and the pharma, the latest figure, more than 200 million US dollars. So what the government wants is to encourage Indians and others to come and set up. For this, the government has set up industrial parks only for the pharma products. Only in Addis Ababa. Kelinto Pharma Industrial Park. Not only that, you know, the government gives special incentives, 40% income tax exemptions, among others. Not only that, when there was a bidding, you know, the largest procurement is being done by the government. The government gave long-term procurement guarantee if you set up there. If you set up there. When there is international bidding, the government gives 25% price preference for those who are manufacturing in Ethiopia. Not only, you know, price preference, the government is giving 30% advance payment for you. Because in order to speed up. So pharma sector is one of the areas where top attention, top priority was given. The others were more than 26 Indian textile factories in Ethiopia, and others I will come. The third top priority is ICT. We have a national digital transformation plan to make Ethiopia digital, to digitalize the whole economy. The government, inclusive digital economy. For this, the government came up with a plan, with a policy, and with a ministry which can oversee the implementation, Ministry of Innovation and Technology. For this, again, the government has built IT village in Addis Ababa. IT village, using modern art of technology. All the buildings, all facilities for the ICT is ready. It is, you know, 5 kilometers inside the airport. You can go and visit. India is leading the IT sector. So we are encouraging you to come and use in different sectors. When we see IT, e-commerce, e-education, e-telemedicine, you can mention it. So you don't need here and there to hire. It was already well established. The other is mining sector. We are endowed with varied untapped mineral resource, opal, gold, potassium, platinum, iron, tantalum, and so on. So these are the 5 top priority sectors where we are looking for. You don't need land, industrial parks are ready. I told you the cost of production, how it is low, how the government was given priority in this area. Then what about the finance? In Ethiopia, there is a government bank, Development Bank of Ethiopia, which is giving loan only for those who are participating in the production sectors. You can access 50% of loan from 50% of your project from this Development Bank of Ethiopia. If you have a plan of 200,000 projects, that means 10,000, 100,000 you can get from this Development Bank of Ethiopia. It is there only to support, to give loan at a very low, not at commercial rate. Not at a commercial rate. It has also lease financing, project financing. You can also access loan from foreign banks. Now we are opening also financial sector for foreign bank to come and operate in Ethiopia. So it is not an issue. So what is a legal mechanism for India? One, Ethiopian, your property is protected by the constitution. Second, Ethiopia is a member of MEGA, Multilateral Investment Protection Guarantee, the UN system. Third, we have signed bilateral investment protection agreement with the government of India. Your is protected by the government. We have signed avoidance of double taxation treaty with government of India. We have a joint trade committee, bilateral trade agreement between the Ministry of Trade and Ethiopia and the Ministry of Ethiopian Trade. There is every 2-year joint trade committee meeting. The last joint trade committee meeting was 15 days before held in Ethiopia. A representative from Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they went to Ethiopia and they reviewed the bilateral trade agreement. So all these legal mechanisms are in place to support your trade and investment in Ethiopia. So let me come in brief to Ethio-India relationship, trade. Well, very deep, thorough analysis, study. Thank you very much. Historically, we have a long-standing economic commercial relationship with India, which goes centuries old. It can trace back to 2,000 years of recorded history. That means we are trading with India since 1st century AD. Indians are exporting to Ethiopia in the 1st century AD spices and silk. And the Indians were importing from Ethiopia gold and ivory. So our trade relationship, economic commercial relationship, started not today. It started since 1st century. That means we are trading for the last 2,000 years, the two countries. When India became independent, the first country, the first goodwill mission Nehru sent was to Ethiopia in 1947. And we replicated our imperial by establishing diplomatic relationship at legation, even before India became a republic. We are the first country from Africa to establish diplomatic relation with India. We are the first country from Africa to open embassy in Ethiopia, in Delhi. So we are celebrating 76 years of diplomatic relationship. The bilateral trade, there is a figure difference where the two ministries are now working out, but I can assure you that the bilateral trade between the two countries 2022 is 2.32 billion. India is the second source of import from Ethiopia. But the data from Indian side and ours is different. Now they are working, reconciling. This is the data from the National Bank of Ethiopia, from our side. From this, Indian export to Ethiopia in 2022 is 2.23 billion. And Ethiopian export to India is 84.8 million. So India is the second largest trading partner with Ethiopia. The sectors are already mentioned, but which I cannot go. What is important is investment. Indians are the second largest investors in Ethiopia. There are 650 Indian companies registered with Investment Commission of Ethiopia with a registered capital of 5 billion USA dollars, among which close to 4 billion is on the ground. And they created job opportunity for more than 75,000 Ethiopians. So, Indians are, though the trade balance is in favor of, India, because we don't produce more, but Indians had become the second largest investors in Ethiopia. 61.78% are in manufacturing sectors. Among them, 13.1% are in agriculture. The others are in consultancy sectors, engineering consultancies, and so on. And the major sectors, it's obvious in many sectors, which I don't go. But what is important is there is again a scope to further enhance and diversify not only the trade, but investment. Given when we are trading with the two countries for 2,000 years, our trade is 2.23. Why Chinese? Where it come late? Not 2,000 years history. So there is huge potential to intensify, to diversify the trade basket between the two countries, as rightly Amit had suggested. What to work on it. Second, Ethiopia is becoming, the leading Africa fastest growing economy, huge market. The reason as far, but there is again huge potential for Indian companies to invest in Ethiopia, to go there, produce there, sell there to Africa market, to the world as well. So this area where we are looking, what is the requirement? For an Indian company to set up in Ethiopia, you need wholly, if you want to set up by yourself, the minimum capital is 200,000 USD. If you want to go by joint venture with Ethiopians, 150,000. If you want by engineering and other consultancy, 1,000 USD. So we are looking Indians, come and do business in Ethiopia. Meaning, come and do sustainable international business. To do sustainable international business in a sustainable way, go and set up a unit there. You can have profit maximization is important nowadays. To continue your company, now India is growing rapidly. It's going from low, labor intensive, capital intensive. But we are looking for Indians, those who are in medium scale and others. That are what we are looking for. So we invite all of you to come and do business in Ethiopia. Our embassy, we are here nothing else than being trade and investment the top priority between us. For this, I can again request the Southern Gujarati Chamber of Commerce to organize a business delegation to Ethiopia. For the last 4 years, 3 months, we have organized 3 with 32 companies in textile, service, equipment manufacturers, and IT in the month of August. This again November, 40 pharma companies. This were organized with Pharmaceutical Export Promotion Agency. 3 days they were in Ethiopia. They met more than 125 partners there, each of them. 40 companies, 125 Ethiopian partners. And we organized also with other chamber from Bangalore, 90-member delegation. If each of them met at least 3 to 4 Ethiopian counterparts. So I'm asking within this association, whom we have a lot of, association. I'm always insisting my old friend, Mr. Mehta, why not? When you are going by Ethiopian Airlines. Others are going not only to Ethiopia. They took Ethiopian Airlines from here. They go to Ethiopia, Kenya, up to Benin, to South Africa, any countries. In one trip, not only to one country. You can stay one day in Ethiopia seminar, 1.5 a day. The second day you can go to other because Ethiopian Airlines is there. All are using Ethiopian Airlines. In one trip, you can at least cover 2 or 3 countries. It cannot take more than 5 days. So, we are more than happy to work with the chamber. And all of you who have attended it, thank you very much for honoring us. We look forward, all of you, to become a member of business delegation for us and see you to have a business tie with Ethiopia. Thank you very much.
We'll take the video which they already come with.
And the world's oldest civilization. The symbol of African independence, the birthplace of coffee, and the running nation. Ethiopia is now emerging as one of the top investment destinations on the African continent. From the Afar Depression, where a river dies in a chain of salt lakes, some 120 meters below sea level, to the windy heights of Ras Dashen, at 4.5 kilometers above sea level, Ethiopia is naturally endowed with a unique climatic condition that's ideal for a varied stream of productive investments. Ethiopia, the second most populous country in Africa with more than 60% young, cultured, and trainable workforce, is implementing an economic development strategy that prioritizes the role of the private sector in the economy and invites the participation of more foreign direct investment in public-private partnership. Ethiopia has now modernized its investment regime, streamlined and digitized its investment regulations, offering attractive investment climate with excellent returns in any investment projects, maintaining professional service. The strategic geopolitical location, having a unique proximity to the various markets, like North and Latin America, the European Union, Asia, the Middle East, and the African continent, making Ethiopia a trading gateway. Ethiopia is the most influential country in the socio-political and economic circles of Africa, contributing the largest peacekeeping force in the continent. The capital city, Addis Ababa, which means New Flower, is the third diplomatic capital in the world, hosting most of the influential conversations that shape the role of Africa globally. Sustainably implementing climate-resilient green economic development path, the country is actively working towards building a clean energy infrastructure, leveraging its huge potential in wind, solar, geothermal, and hydropower sources. One of the most ambitious projects in the sector, the Grand Renaissance Dam, which is near completion, will become the biggest hydroelectric dam in Africa. To fuel the high-speed industrialization, Ethiopia has developed more than 30 public and private geographically diversified industrial ecosystems in the form of the National Network of Industrial Parks, creating conducive business operation climate for investors. These industrial parks are equipped with efficient and effective services facilities, such as one-stop service, fire brigade, healthcare facility, technology-backed security systems, and state-of-the-art industrial wastewater treatment plants. Further, the parks have full access to road, air, and railway transport systems for expedited import and export logistical needs. Ethiopia is also developing an agro-industrial park infrastructure to support the development of inclusive and sustainable agricultural value chain that enables commercial farmers to join the attractive investment landscape and contribute significantly to the structural transformation of the economy. Coffee is not only discovered in Ethiopia, but is very much part of its culture. Ethiopia's quality certified producers are one of the major foreign currency drivers for the country. The world's #1 forest coffee is enjoyed globally and forms the backbone of the economy, contributing as much as 34% of the total export earnings. Home to 13 UNESCO registered World Heritage Sites, 10 endemic animals, over 800 bird life, 86 different nationalities, together with incredibly beautiful landforms, Ethiopia presents a road less traveled tourist destination with great potential to invest and expand the travel industry. Ethiopia has a mining pedigree as old as its existence, and the sector offers a huge potential for investment. Rich, untapped, and vast resources such as gold, gemstones, tantalum, potash, iron ore, and various industrial and rare earth metals, energy, and construction minerals, providing a great investment opportunity. Ethiopia also has a huge potential for natural gas and petroleum development in some regions of the country, which complements the low-carbon energy infrastructure. Ethiopia puts ICT investment at the heart of the country's economic growth. An ICT park together with a national digital strategy development to provide a suitable ICT ecosystem for equipment and services investments. The best airline on the continent and the spirit of Africa, Ethiopian Airlines is a member of the Star Alliance Group and has been gracing the blue skies for the past 75 years. Ethiopian Airlines links global business leaders and goods from well over 127 passenger and 58 cargo destinations in 5 continents, with a fleet of 130 modern aircraft. The aforementioned developments, together with the signing of multiple free trade agreements, such as AGOA, COMESA, IGAD, EU-EDA, and AFCFTA, continues to make Ethiopia an attractive new age investment destination. Come, let's have coffee and discuss how you can be part of this great investment opportunity. It's time to invest in Ethiopia.
Thank you, and once again I request the entire, my friends to have a very big round of applause. Embassy, Excellency, we are really very much delighted and thankful the way you acknowledge Indians and Gujaratis as well. So we'll never ever forget, few of the things which you said in your today's speech. I just also would like to say, he has already explained us 4 or 5 big sectors wherein there are huge opportunities there. To the best of my knowledge, even in agriculture sector, I think more than 7 lakhs of hectare of land, they've already given it to Indians. Like Saporji Palonji, one of the group from the south, even Tata, they have given 7 lakh plus 7 lakh plus hectare of land they have already issued to an Indian for an agriculture. Right. At the same time, not only he said that these are all the sectors wherein you can go and or you can come and do the business, he also explained us there are the banking facilities, the kind of fundings, finances, more than 50%. This is really very good, and for the Gujus rather, I think it's a very catwalk. When he said a single word, that even if you would like to start a business, you can come with a $1,000 if I'm not wrong, sir. $1,000 generally, sir. Any of the people who is used to go on a vacation either at Dubai or at Thailand, they used to take $1,000 in their pocket. So I think this is really very good things which according to, I mean, my understanding, I think the opportunity which we are looking for, he has elaborated in a very simple form. Friends, take it these things forward for the B2B interactions at the same time question and answer session. I request Sri Rohit Mehta sir to please handle this. And before that, I think, sir, you are the person who always speaks something from the presentation and say the very beautiful note of that. So that is also very much expected, sir.
Thank you very much. I think we should really compliment His Excellency Mr. Debeke Ambulo. I believe, sir, this, I mean, if I look at the various presentations that have been made by the heads of mission of various countries, perhaps I can brand this, I can rate this as the best presentation that has been made. And for you friends, I mean, he's been a very old friend of mine from the very early days. He was earlier as a Consul General of Ethiopia in Mumbai, and that is the time he visited Surat thrice earlier. He went back to Ethiopia and the government has sent him back as the ambassador. So that speaks of his excellent credentials, of his excellent knowledge of his subject, of his excellent way of presentation and presenting his country. So congratulations, Your Excellency, you've been a great ambassador for your country and we look forward to really working with you hands in hands for the future, in the future. You mentioned a lot about the opportunities, of course, the 5 target areas. You mentioned about why an industrialist or a business person should come and invest in Ethiopia. Cheap labor, cheap electricity, cheap land, opportunities abundant, and so many other things you mentioned. I would like to begin with a small question, Your Excellency, and then we keep the floor open for the others. Having established a business in, and of course you also mentioned about a double non-taxation treaty between India and Ethiopia. Having established an enterprise in Ethiopia with all the plus points that you have mentioned, and the enterprise makes a profit, what is the policy, because ultimately that matters the most, what is the policy for repatriation of funds? How does a person, how does a businessman bring back the profits to India? Can you talk something about that?
Yes, thank you very much. Important point which I overlooked because of time. Profit, not only profit, dividend, profit. If you sell out your enterprise in Ethiopia, you can repatriate in USD dollars. Repatriation of profit, dividend, sale. Even if you sell out your product, 100% you can repatriate. Not only that, even if you got a loan from foreign bank, paying a loan, you can pay also that in foreign currency. This is one. Second, there is exemption of capital goods when you are taking your importing of your machineries, equipment. They are tax-free, and the second, export is tax-free in every aspect. Export, there is no export duty, and loss carry forward. If you first loss, the government is giving import custom, income tax exemption up to 10 years. In the pharma, I said 14 years. Even you face, loss in that period, there is a mechanism you can take forward also. Loss carry forward method is also in place. So this is very important question which I missed, and I thank you very much.
That's fantastic. And now, so I mean, there's no reason why I see people should not be looking at Ethiopia. So I throw this floor open for the participants. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if you have any things which His Excellency can throw some more light upon, you can definitely, we can talk about that.
Please introduce yourself or Myself, Anjani Agarwal. I am a technical textile advisor. So my question is that what are the visa compliances for the visa, and what are the protection for the Indians there? Like Hindus, and there are mostly the Amit sir said that 67 Christian and 31 is Islamic. They are less Hindu. So what are the protection for the Hindus and non-Hindus between?
Thank you. Visa, we have already introduced online visa for all, online visa on online. Second, if you go on tourist, there is visa for Indians on arrival also. During the COVID, it was suspended. Now I think 1 month already we have reintroduced it. And for those of you who are going for tourists, you can get visa on arrival. For those of you who are going for the business, you can get online visa. If you are going for the first time to explore business investment and opportunity, we can give you from the embassy 3 months multiple entry visa. For those who are going for pre-investment study, we'll give you 3 months multiple entry. All other visas are online or arrival online. You know, Ethiopia is a secular government. There is no issue among these. Both are coexisting for a long time. So 100% protected is one of the most protected area, you know, in India. The Hindus are there, you know, in 1960s, 70s, early, when our emperor was celebrating his 80-something, you know, birthday. Indians there, mainly Gujarati, they built a hospital. If you go to the downtown, you can find Gandhi Memorial Hospital, one of the oldest, the third largest, oldest hospital. When they presented to the emperor, he said, "Thank you, but it should be named by Gandhi, Gandhi Memorial Hospital." So Indians are, no, it's not. Peace and stability, the effectiveness of the effective control of the government is so strong, not like any other countries. So well protected.
Good morning, His High Excellency Mr. Demke. You have provided a really remarkable insights on investing in Ethiopia. Myself, Bhautik Patel from Amardeep Aggregates. We are into building material manufacturing. I have certain questions which many of the people would be having from exporting from India, importing to Ethiopia, and also investing in production units in Ethiopia. So I have 5 to 6 questions for this. First thing is, Ethiopia is a landlocked country, and in case of any instability with the ports used of other country by Ethiopia, will it not create a problem for businessmen investing in production plant in Ethiopia? Shall I ask all the questions? Second question is, does Ethiopia provide any special rights and license for exclusivity for industries which are not existing in Ethiopia? Third question is, who will be the right person to contact for knowing the rates of basic utilities for electricity, water, manpower resources, land price, logistics cost, internal country taxes of GST or VAT, and most importantly, tax exemption from income? Fourth question is, what is the scope of export of building materials like plaster mortars and prefabricated structures exporting from India? Fifth question is, what benefits are provided in financing from Ethiopian government for setup of production unit in Ethiopia? Yeah, but I would like to have a descriptive. So, if anyone can get in touch after this seminar, then. Sixth is there any trade agreement benefits to export to other countries from Ethiopia? Suppose if we are investing in Ethiopia production units, then are there any trade agreement benefits which can be provided to countries like Saudi Arabia, USA, compared to India? If I am setting up a plant in India or in Ethiopia, so is there any trade agreements where I can save upon the duties and have the benefit of that market opportunity? These are my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ethiopia, you know, the port of Djibouti used to be part of Ethiopia. No one can use the port of Djibouti. There are, less than 1 million. So it is naturally, the port is naturally created for Ethiopians. So again, we are diversifying. There was an attempt by the government again to get share or to buy share on the ports, in the nearby ports. So it is not at all an issue. There are many countries in the world where landlocked countries. International law also doesn't allow that. So Ethiopia is a big country, 127 million population. If nothing can happen. 100, more than 100. If we don't use them, no one can use it. It's not an issue. Totally not an issue. You can see, if it had been the case, even during the COVID, when there is all this turmoil in the world, why the economy is continuously growing? It's not an issue. Exclusive right, but you can discuss. When you are setting up any production unit, you are going to sign an agreement with the investment commission. So it depends on the type of the product which you are going to produce, then you can negotiate. Such kind of detail cannot be put in the policy. But when you are going to sign, if you decide, you cannot immediately start. You can sit down with the government, with the investment commission, then you can submit it. Then they can look based on the merit of individual companies. The right of person. Okay, the costs, yes. You can go. That is why when you are going to the business or individual, our main duty at the embassy was nothing else than arranging a meeting to you with pertinent Ethiopian government authority. If you are interested in the industrial building materials, we can arrange a meeting with the Ministry of Industry, with other pertinent ministries, including the taxation, and which all other you have already requested. So they will give you detailed information. What I'm giving you, I'm a diplomat. We are giving a general basic information. That depends on you. There is sectoral minister, experts who are dealing on this issue. So our role is we cannot do for all. We can, channel you. We can arrange a meeting with you. You can go check out the list. Then you can sit down, discuss with them. Then you can come up back and see whether feasible or not. Then you can make a decision. The pre-investment visit is nothing else to collect basic information related to your companies, not for the other general policy. So our role is here to assist, to support, to meet, to fix an appointment with pertinent government agencies in Ethiopia. Plastic is one of the exports. The major export again, Indian, manufacturing unit in Ethiopia is, plastic. They were exporting to American countries. I know from Pune, and mainly they are from Pune and that Mumbai, Pune zones. Many, I know not only for the Ethiopia, they got permission to export to the American market, I know. So you can produce, you can export, but the most important, many Indians are there producing there, plastic. Even you can export to the nearby Kenya, Somalia, Sudan, to African countries, including, I know one is exporting to the American markets as well. And as a loan, I said, we can arrange a meeting with Ethiopian Development Bank when you are going. This all is our duty. Arranging, you can discuss the detail, the technicalities, how to apply, how to get it, what are the requirements to access 50%. So that detail you can go and discuss. There are experts. We can arrange a meeting and you can go and discuss with them. You can have a meeting, one hour meeting with investment, 1 hour with Ethiopian Electric Authority, and so on. 2 days, 3 days is enough to collect all the necessary detailed technical informations. Yes, we have, a number of bilateral agreements. One is India. We are beneficiary of, Indian preference, tariff preference for 98.8% Ethiopian export to India, except very few. Not only others, we are also China. We are more than 40 countries. 40 countries. The European Union, everything except arms. What you produce in Ethiopia, everything into arms. To the American market also under AGOA. Still we have some, the Americans, when you don't agree with their policy, they suspend it. Now we are negotiating it, but we are also using the American market, the European market. There are bilateral with Australia, with many other countries, including India. During, the last joint trade committee meeting between Ministry of Commerce and Ethiopian Ministry in Addis Ababa, we are requesting the Indian government, because, export of meat of sheep and goat has a market here. But we don't have that preferential, tariff line. Laser and laser products, very few. But we are requesting them, and the Indian government is reconsidering it. Because Ethiopian export to India is only 84 million. Indian export is 2.2 billion. So this is a request submitted by the government of Ethiopia to India. But we are also have India. We have such trade agreement. African market free, 254. African continental trade, yes. We are member, we are signatory, you can export to all African countries. So good question, we have a number of trade agreements. And we have also with organizations like European Union, except, PAN, with the Americans, we are now finalizing, and so on. So there is huge possibility. First, think of domestic markets when you are going to produce. Don't export. Because you are going from India, relocating there, taking you hard-won foreign currency. Don't think. First thing, your priority has to be domestic market, huge domestic market. Then from that you can, think of other exporting. If it is from India, you can think about it. If you are going to the other country, your first priority is, do I have a domestic market? If you don't export, you produce, what can you do? You can produce priority target for domestic. Then, after that, when you meet the demand of the domestic market, you can also think of exporting. But huge opportunities are existing. Very good question. Thank you.
Very good insight into the questions that were asked. You very rightly mentioned that here the specifics cannot be given. So specifics we need to discuss on a personal level with individual meetings. But I think the broad idea and the broad picture has been given by him. So let us concentrate upon the broader aspects through other questions. Yes, you can.
Sir, my name is Malay. I have completed my course in export management. So my question is that, is there any portal for merchant exporters to procure agricultural products to export to other nations from Ethiopia? And where can I get the name of agencies to manage the quality control? And is there any portal for CHA infrastructure, transport, etc.? Like over here, the government is giving some websites where you can manage everything to export products from India. Thank you.
Thank you. In Ethiopia, export is allowed only for those who produce in Ethiopia. But as you know, if you go and buy, have an office, export from Ethiopia, you cannot, a foreigner. For you allowed, first you have to produce, if it is plastic, I mentioned. If you mention plastic, then you can, an Indian company producing plastic, you can export to other countries. If you open an office, trade office, only for export, not allowed. Yes. Yes, yes.
Even if you procure locally, sir?
You cannot allow.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Sometimes, you know, if you have your base there, production unit there, you can ask exceptional permit from the government, and the government will give you under special consideration other than your product to export other items. But going only for, you know, their procuring and exporting is not allowed.
Is it like you can procure the goods from there and you can pre-pack or packing something like you do a different packing and then you can export it?
You have to have a packaging, you know, forest company. Yes, that you can do.
First of all, thanks SGCCI for arranging such kind of nice platform. My question is, I have been there in Ethiopia in last March, and as well as I also visited Ethiopian Investment Commission and Pest authorities also. So what challenges I have been faced over there, that some capping is there, like if we are investing $2 lakh US. So basically we are from IT, ICT domain, IT, ICT and telecom domain. So there is a very less clarity in investment. Like as if we are investing $2 lakh US, but $2 lakh investment is not required. Even the capping is there, how we get refund in terms of forex challenges over there. I am facing forex challenges particularly. So what is the dollar availability?
Yeah, a very good question. You know, dollar are developing country, it's a shortage. As a developing country, because to get dollar, you have to export. One source of earning dollar, you cannot make dollar. So you have to produce more, sell more to get dollar. That is why we are encouraging, giving all those incentives for the manufacturing, for those to come and export. Second, about dollar for those in the production sector, priorities for them, not for the traders. You know, you have to prioritize it when you have scarcity, supply and demand, then you have to prioritize. The priority is being given for those who are manufacturing there. That is it.
I do agree, but when we are investing, we also need to some import for managing our operations and over there. For doing particular IT and telecom, I am talking about IT and telecom. If we are running our operations, we also have to bought something, bought import machineries and everything. So at that time, is there any assurity to available currency over there at a real time availability?
Yes. What you can do when you are doing, I say
Yes.
You need to have first investment license.
Yes.
Based on investment license, you have to apply.
Okay.
You know, no one can, you know, ordinary, it is not, you know, it is a regulated foreign currency. It's not an open. You cannot find in many other countries, you can find in the shops. It's not. It's only the bank, restricted by the central bank. Even the commercial banks were given direction to whom prioritize it. Even for the trade, priority was given to drugs and the pharmaceuticals and others.
For this also, after you get that, you can go and apply. If they say, delay or line up, if it is a matter of urgency, investment commission can write to the central bank.
So is there any ecosystem like investment commission is there? What is the system for availability of real-time currency for buying purpose and for managing our operation purpose?
It is there.
It is there.
Yes.
Because
That is
whenever I
why
visited,
central bank is controlling. So the investment commission is writing after understanding your problem.
Okay.
If they write, the central bank can direct the commercial bank.
So is there any TAT or timing duration for particular?
It depends.
It depends. Because business will survive with real time. We will not get any kind of support for particular buying commodities and risk things.
The way how you access it.
Yes.
Then the way how you can push, convince the investment commission.
Okay.
Matter of urgency.
Because when I stayed there for a long tenure and I dig everything, deep Ethiopian market. Personally, I'm an Ethiopian coffee lover. My morning will start with Ethiopian coffee, so that I'm telling to you that I plan very big over there, but I'm facing certain challenges over there. Then I have postponed my agendas.
I think we can talk about this. We can discuss.
Specifically, you have a very important question, but let's talk one-to-one on this. But based on your question, sir, there's one question that pops up in my mind. If you are giving foreign currency to, as he mentioned, if the foreign currency is available or it is made available by the government, would it come with a guarantee that you ask for export? Like you are taking $100,000, but that $100,000 has to be brought back through exports. Is there something system like that is working?
That money is only to show how you are serious. That is your money. You can make use of it. Nothing else. Before everybody goes and get investment license. Have the project, they submit projects. The total project costs, they say, $1 million, but you cannot see it. The government cannot follow up and give assistance for those who are real or not. So you walk in, get the license. That means you are not real. Anyone can do it. But now to make sure that Mr. Mehta is real, interested, let he first put such kind of money in the bank. Then it's your money, you can make use of it for any other things. To show, to see how
You are
serious.
establishing seriousness.
Seriousness.
Yes, sir. Okay,
The
fine.
other, nothing else. It's your money, you are going to use it immediately.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else has questions? Yeah, Paresh.
Continuation of, I think, in his question, I mean, is there any, this kind of opportunity wherein they barter in terms of the commodity exchange? I mean, if in terms of the dollar, if we can get in the coffee and the coffee can be exported to the various countries and can generate US dollar. That could be a number one. At the same time, since he is from the ICT and telecom, who are others who are from the either telecom or in ICT field? Because see, in his presentation, if I am not wrong, what he says that telecom density is right now, I think it's at 12 or 14%, and internet density is again of a 5 or 6%. So look at India. In 2002, what we were, today Ethiopia is number one. And in 24 years or 22 years of the telecom development, which done it in India, probably in next 4 to 5 years, Ethiopia can do it. So the mass and the best opportunity, probably I consider in terms of the ICTs and telecom. Am I right, sir? Thank you. Any other question?
Good afternoon, myself Rajvi Mepani from Mepani Holidays. My question is, what are the tourist attraction to explore Ethiopia as a Indian tourist? My question is this only.
Thank you. This is what I've already mentioned. Tourism, yes, it's one of, we are an ancient country. We have a number of different type of tourism. Ancient country means ancient civilization. We have historical tourism, those who are interested. Those who are interested in heritage, very rich heritage tourism. We have a lot of, religious tourism. We have different type of, Ethiopia, ecological, for those who are interested in safari, ecology. There is also cultural tourism, environmental tourism, leisure tourism, and the call. Ethiopia, we have more than 90 endemic animals, which are only found in Ethiopia. We are the only country from Africa which had registered more than 16 tangible and intangible cultural heritage with UNESCO. 1/6, only in Africa. These are all historical, tourism. So Ethiopia offers different type of tourism. That is why India we are not allowing, we are not giving tourist visa on arrival for all countries, but for those countries who are the potential tourists. That is why Indians are one of, included on this list, getting arrival tourist visa on arrival, not online. Sometimes online network connection problem and so on. To make it very simple for the Indian tourists, they can get visa on arrival in Addis Ababa. All Ethiopian Airlines, all airlines are well aware. If you are holding Indian passport, they don't ask you for visa because they know that you will get visa on arrival. So they are mostly welcome, and that is what we are looking. And more than happy if you organize tourists, group tourism, we are more than happy to work with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Organize work with pleasure. If there's a delegation of business people going to Ethiopia, almost 4 or 5 days we can have the business delegation, and then 3 or 4 days we can have tourism.
Hello sir, my name is Bhautik and I'm related to the packaging industries. We are exporting the PP bags and the non-woven shopping bags. So is everyone wants to export to the Ethiopia. So is there any directory or the any company's details which we can get details of your buyer from your country? So is there any portal or the directory which we can get the details?
We have business directory, and you can contact. She is our diplomat in charge of trade and investment. After this meeting, you can email and she will send you by email.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think we can take 1 or 2 more questions. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. My name is Mahesh. I am representing the Safety Skill Development Foundation, which is a government approved awarding body under the NCVET. And my concern wanted to understand, because considering the infrastructure growth in India and the other countries, like including the Africa, because we are exploring the other countries also, so one of the Africa is that. So what are the opportunities for the international qualification? As a government have an agenda, according to that there's awarding bodies are established in India. So one is that the getting opportunity to Indian youth in the other countries for the infrastructure development, and the other countries people also getting the opportunities in India considering our booming infrastructure. So there is a international qualifications what we are developing in India right now related to the some of the safety councils and other areas. So what are the opportunities in institutional part in the Africa, Ethiopia specifically?
We have Ethiopian standardization authority. I know they have very good working relationship with Indian standardization, always sharing experience of India. And now we are in the process during the joint trade committee meeting between the two ministries. One area where both countries, both ministries agreed was to sign a collaboration agreement between Ethiopian industrial standardization and that of India. Because we are making use of Indian expertise. India is supporting under the ITEC program, bringing Ethiopians for 3 months. We are the first. India was giving,
scholarship for medium term, yearly 406 slots for Ethiopians. Under ITEC, 50 degree, master's, and this is for medium level technical, for technical. Every year 400. So there is, but let's discuss one-to-one and let me understand what really you want to know.
Got it. We'll have interaction. Thank you.
Just ask what is the food availability, veg food? We are in the Surat, we are fond of the food. अगर खाना अच्छा मिलता है, we need the good veg food. So we can stay lot there for the more veg foods are availability.
Food, Ethiopia food is similar with India. Especially our fasting, Christian fasting, we are not eating any, meat, dairy, or related products. It is completely similar with Indians. Our injera, it is flat. You call it dosa. We call it injera. You have been there. And we are more spicy than Indians. We are, using our 5 fingers. We never use spoons and eggs. So there is a lot. There are many Indian restaurants in Addis are coming up. Food, there's too much similarities. The cuisine, culinary similarity is very huge.
Okay, friends, this was a fantastic interaction with His Excellency.
Thank you, Rohit bhai, and I think majority of the question is covered. But in spite, if someone still feel that no, I have a question which is, apart from the discussion so far, don't worry. Just give it to us. We are there to represent it to His Excellency, definitely. Friends, I was just collected one question from all of you, and I am very much thankful that you have given your honest feedback to us. Friends, we are doing this type of initiative, we are taking these types of initiatives and arranging almost the same kind of, program and seminars. Fortunately, there are few people, they also joined through the online and they are connected with us since last 2.5 hours. At the same time, today again, the parallel session, not parallel, after this session, again at 3 o'clock, another country from the Africa, Lesotho, is also coming over here. So those who really would like to explore about the Lesotho, they can also be a part of this program after at 3 o'clock in the same venue, same place. Now I request our core committee member, Sri Arvind Babawala, to please extend the vote of thanks. Arvind bhai.
His Excellency Temeko Atanafu, Miss Sartise, on the dais, and our President, Sri Ramesh Bhai Vagasya, Southern Leader Chamber of Commerce, my colleagues who are accompanying with me to piloting our His Excellency and his team. सबसे पहले तो सभी हमारे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट जो है सूरत के, उन सभी का धन्यवाद कि हमारे चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स के प्रेजेंट प्रेसिडेंट श्री रमेश भाई वगासिया ने मिशन 84 का 84,000 करोड़ रुपीस का एक्सपोर्ट और 84,000 एक्सपोर्टर्स को बढ़ाने का मिशन और टारगेट बनाया। इसलिए सभी के साथ, दुनिया के 84 कंट्री के साथ यह अप्रोच किया जा रहा है। इनमें से हमारा है इथोपिया, वन ऑफ देम। हम ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ चैम्बर्स एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का भी जो विजन है $5 ट्रिलियन, उसमें भी हम हमारा बहुत अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूशन दें और काफ़ी कंट्री के साथ जो कोई भी आगे
आके जो कोई क्वेश्चंस है चैम्बर में आए, चैम्बर के साथ टीम से बात करें, हमारे प्रेसिडेंट से मिले, हमारे सभी कलीग हैं उनसे बात करके आगे बढ़े और ऐसी इवेंट में हो सके इतना मैक्सिमम पार्टिसिपेशन करें तो आपको भी एक एनकरेज मिलेगा और चैम्बर का जो मिशन है वो भी आगे बढ़ेगा और बिजनेस डेवलप होगा, समृद्धि बढ़ेगी. Once again, all of you, thank you very much.